85% of Hong Kong businesses are expanding their use of AI agents, yet only few projects seem to reach production. To expound on this, we have Kunal Taneja from Databricks and Professor Zhang Jiheng of Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. So Kunal and Professor Zhang, glad you could join us. What is driving the surge in multi-agent AI deployments?
In 2026, it marks a clear transition from AI experimentation to embedded production-grade AI that delivers tangible ROI. The focus has shifted to making enterprise AI reliable, governed, and business-aware. So we're starting to see a lot of organizations move away from the singular chatbots that they deployed in 2025, but now to actually solving real business world problems and automating real business world outcomes. And that requires them to deploy multi-agent frameworks. We published a report recently called State of AI Agents, and that customers grew adoption of multi-agent deployment by more than 300% coming into 2026. Almost 90+% of the adoption was for real time. And that indicates that customers are building real-time business applications as opposed to batch-based applications. And that's really what's been driving this adoption. One of the customers is Suntory Beverages. They employed agentic AI to be able to go do market research, to analyze their internal data and trends, and then come out with some key insights, tasks that used to take their business analysts weeks. They're able to do that now in minutes.
All these agents are getting smarter. So we can move from chatbot, for example, ChatGPT, which can only answer your questions, to automated agent that can do a whole lot of things to do some exploration by itself. So I think that's the dramatic increase of the intelligence of all these agents. That's the main driver for what we have seen so far.
Now, just for better understanding on this, why are so many Hong Kong organizations struggling to move from pilot to full-scale deployment?
The first one is quite simple, is that there is lack of trust in their existing data. A lot of Hong Kong businesses are still transitioning away from their legacy and siloed infrastructure where they have a low trust in their data. If you can't trust the data you have today, it is really hard to trust what you're going to get back from your AI systems. The second one is there's a shortage of talent. For the recent survey by the Manpower Group, which found that more than 25% of organizations are struggling to recruit or people with skill sets appropriate in data science or in AI. Until we fix these grassroots issues around talent and skill shortages, it's going to be really hard to scale. Last but not least, there is an element of regulatory compliance. Now, Hong Kong is one of the biggest hubs in the world for financial services. Because of the stringent regulation that Hong Kong MA puts in place, they have quite a few key principles in AI that emphasize explainability, accountability, and data governance. And this is quite well backed by State of AI Agent report, which showed that customers that are using AI governance, we found that they are putting 12x more applications into production than customers that are not using AI governance.
That's a big question. I think there are 4 barriers. Okay, the first barrier is literacy. The general public will probably do not know AI as much. And there's a whole lot of things that the staff training, the management, the evaluation, combined with financial cost, because all these tokens cost money, and also security, which I'm going to elaborate later. The second reason is integration. We've been doing business in the old way, like based on paper, then we digitized. There were emails, spreadsheets. We've been used to this kind of workflow. But however, using AI, that we need to think about how to integrate. There's no API. So how can a very smart agent access, the spreadsheet that spreading across different employees? And even if we have a database, whether the database has API that open to the AI agent to decide which AI agent can see which, and with what kind of accessing right. The third barrier is trust and security, because there were a lot of private data in healthcare or even in finance. If you want AI to do things for you, you have to tell AI something. But if you tell AI too much information, that will create a security loophole. So that remains one very big barrier. The fourth barrier, I think, is the physical digital gap. Now, I do see a lot of AI agents that can do a whole lot of things in the software world, but all of that remains in the software world. If you think about applying this to physical world, to logistics, shipping, currently, I don't think that the robotics that are that advanced that can to implement AI's decision. So these are the four barriers.
But out of everyone, which sectors in Hong Kong would you say are best positioned to scale multi-agent AI successfully?
One of the key standouts has been the financial services. As a great example is really what we are seeing from AIA. They've got internal customer data and they've gone out to market and sought external data around customer behavior analytics. A key result was they saw 2x growth in customer engagement and 2x growth in the number of leads generated by their financial advisors. We don't think agentic AI, it's not just limited to financial services. Telecommunication providers are dealing with humongous amounts of network data, customer data, and real-time telemetry data. And they've been able to use agentic AI to merge these three data sets. So we do see cases where telecommunication providers are using these multi-agentic frameworks to build out better ways to actually prevent fraud, scams. In logistics, multi-agent AI can coordinate demand forecasting, cargo routing, custom processing.
Well, based on the four barriers that I just introduced, I think the sectors will be best positions. First of all, they have AI literacy, or they have the financial ability to hire people with AI skill. And also the kind of industry that can scale up the application of AI will be the industry that mostly in the software world. So the financial services might be one of the sectors that are best positioned to scale AI, because it's these professional services, for example, legal services, because these are actually mostly still in the software world. Logistics and trade, it's in a good position to use AI, but the barrier that I see is the software and the physical world gap.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Kunal and Professor Zhang.
Thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity today.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, those were Kunal Taneja, Assistant Vice President of Field Engineering in ASEAN and Greater China for Databricks, and Professor Zhang Heng, Head of the Department of Industrial Engineering and Decision Analytics at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. For more news, visit hongkongbusiness.hk.